Matabeleland, about 400 kilometers south of Harare. It's in this part of Zimbabwe that you'll find the strongest opposition to Robert Mugabe and to the men who've just ousted him from power. The land out here is still soaked with old sorrows. Bulawayo is the capital, once the industrial heartland of Zimbabwe, now testament to its decay. Crumbling factories that used to provide jobs and turn out textiles now cater to souls in search of redemption, but there are deeper injuries. When Mbuso Fuzweyo was a child in the 1980s, his grandfather was taken from home by the police. They didn't see him again until a month later.
They brought him home. He was alive, and they shot him.
At home?
Yes.
Up to 20,000 people were killed in what's known here as the Gukurahundi, massacres targeting Robert Mugabe's political opponents and never acknowledged by the perpetrators. Fuzweyo now campaigns for that acknowledgement.
The victim and the perpetrator must find the time to sit side by side and talk about it and say, it happened.
Zimbabwe's newly minted president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, was Mugabe's Minister of State Security at the time. In his inauguration address, Mnangagwa urged the country to let bygones be bygones.
That wasn't just about the events of the last 2 weeks. It obviously was about the events of the last 3 decades. He is desperate for that era to be forgotten about.
David Coulthard is a human rights lawyer and former MP and senator for Bulawayo. He authored one of the first detailed reports on the atrocities.
He was one of the principal lieutenants in the execution of what happened here. So he needs to apologize for what has happened, and he needs to promise the nation that we will never have that again. And I think that if he did that, he'd be surprised by the amount of goodwill in this nation.
Many in Matabeleland believe the economic stagnation they endure is deliberate on the part of the country's ZANU-PF rulers. It feeds a growing desire for separation in some. And people also worry that Mnangagwa's pledge to focus on the economy means he will ignore human rights.
He's been Robert Mugabe's principal lieutenant for 30 years, and unless he's a Gorbachev, he's not going to dramatically change respect for human rights.
But it doesn't stop people here from craving a way of confronting the past, one that would help heal.
We might forgive, but I don't think we'll forget. It's something, it's a pain that is still there in people's souls.
Margaret Evans, CBC News, Bulawayo.